Psychedelics, will they turn you on or will they turn on you? I've been seeing a lot of stuff like this on various pages and websites, and it's pretty sad how many people are misled and have no real information about it. And people thinking psychedelics are completely safe. And me, I was a big promoter of psychedelics and chemicals in general. You know, my main area of expertise is psychopharmacology and chemical analytics and the study of chemicals and how they affect the mind. And yeah, there is no such thing as a bad chemical. It's all how we use and abuse it, sure. But psychedelics can be positive and negative, and most can't kill you besides like a shitload of research chemicals, which there are a lot of, and things with like the traditional ones, DMT, mushrooms, and LSD. You will die from water toxicity before you'll die from an LSD overdose, depending on your conditions and health. But if you are already predetermined to have a mental illness, it can bring it out early. It does not create mental illness taking a psychedelic a few times, but over time, a lifetime, or long term, that's a whole different story. But for the most part, it only brings out what may already be dormant. However, I have been spending literally years into this study and research, practically my whole entire life. And in fact, it was practically my job at one point. And me and literally a team of my cancer doctors have been studying the effects of it. I was diagnosed with a rare form of malignant metastatic cancer, and they only mostly see it in people who have been around insane amounts of radiation, like astrophysicists and people working on nuclear reactors, and have no clue why I had this cancer at such a young age, and they could not pinpoint its cause. But we are starting to put two and two together. If they can bring out predetermined mental genetic illness, it most certainly can bring out predetermined genetic cancers. But not taking them a few times in life will do this, of course. I am not most people, however. I have been through so literally at least 60 different compounds and abused many of them for a long time, and the amount of substances I have been through would shock most people, especially at my age. I've been through various deliriants, hallucinogens, stimulants, dissociatives, inhalants, etc., you name it. And with psychedelics becoming more and more popular and accepted, there's a growing connection between long-term psychedelic use and genetic cancers in other individuals besides myself. And if you take these substances long term, it actually changes your DNA structure permanently. I still have HPPD, hallucinogen persisting perception disorder. And if you get curious and you do happen to end up trying anything, don't get it off the streets and don't take your friend's word for it. Stick with little mushrooms, doses here and there, and go for smaller doses. Me and my stepdad would always go ham and never hold back. I'm talking we take massive doses, over 5,000 micrograms of some liquid Lucy and more, and always would say we ain't having a good time unless we couldn't tell if our eyes was even open or closed. We never took street drugs though. I recommend if you do try anything, take a little time, do some studying, get a federal chemical grant, and get it directly from a reputable lab. And no matter what, get test kits. They are not that expensive and they save lives, for real. However, most test kits won't tell you the specifics unless you get like full spectrum lab test kits, and they're expensive, but it's better than having nothing. Most test kits like the Ehrlich or Marquise test kits will, for example, if you have LSD and test it, it will test as lysergic acids or lysergamide, but it will turn purple for any lysergic acid or lysergamide. So if you have something like 1P LSD, it will test as LSD. If you have ALD52, it will test as LSD. If you have 1V LSD, it will test as LSD. So any LSD 2,5 derivatives will test as just LSD. So you could still end up taking a derivative or a research version of it. It's hard to know for sure unless you go the route I did and get it from a reputable lab. Just be safe.